Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're continuing on lesson 4 of programming the Arduino Opta using Arduino PLC IDE. In today's lesson we're going to go over setting up a counter within the ladder logic, and then also we have this potentiometer wired up as an analog input. So we'll go over the wiring and then how to set up that input, and then we'll implement that input within the structured text. Alright, let's get into it. The first step we're going to do is we're going to set up a counter within the ladder logic. So we're going to want to add a new line, and I think what we want to use to trigger this counter is just going to be that front button again. So that's easy enough. And then we want to make a couple different variables, and one of them is going to be a reset counter bit. So let's do that real quick. We're going to add it to the output here. So if you remember when we clicked on this library tree over here and we grabbed for the timers, well, the counters is right above it, and we're going to do a count up counter. We could do a double integer or an unsigned double integer, but we're not going to do that. You know, it's not going to have a huge count to it ever, so I'm just going to pick the generic one. But if you had a need for, you know, it to hold a very large number in it, then use one of those other ones. And we'll call this reset counter. So there we go. As you can see, it's going to take 3 different things, which these two are pretty similar to the timer. We have a preset value of how much till we want it to trigger the counter to be finished, and then this is going to be the current value. And this is what we're going to use to reset it. And we'll just use that same key switch that we used on the last lesson. We'll use this one here, the reset. So that's what we're going to use to, oops. So we can double click here, reset. There's our key switch. Boom. We'll make 2 more variables. We're going to do reset counter. There's the preset value. We're just going to do an integer on this, and we'll choose 25 and then constant so that it retains that value. And then if we want to see what the current count is, we need to do reset counter current value integer. We'll select that. And we'll select the other one. Okay, so now we want to add a little piece of logic of what this is going to do when the counter, you know, hits its preset value of 25. So what do we want it to do? Well, this LED is always on as long as the front button isn't being pressed. So let's add another one, and we're going to use this same negate. This is kind of like a not if bit. So let me add this real quick. So if these types of bits are like a if internal relay, then LED2, this is a if not front button and if not reset counter bit, then LED2. So let's see if this thing will compile. Okay, it compiled. So let's connect and download. Okay, so we'll have to reconnect. Let's load our old watch list. Okay, let's grab the reset counter current Let's grab our other counter that we've already been using. Oh, it was already there. Let's grab the timer. And let's do LED 2. Okay, so as you can see, LED 2 is already true because neither of these two things are happening. So if we hit the front button once, we can see our counters working, and then we can also see LED 2s going out every time I hit it. And of course that's because this opens up. So this isn't going to be true anymore because this isn't true. But if we hit 25, and there you go. Without me pressing the button, LED 2 is false because now this bit became true, which means it's no longer going to pass on to the output. So that's pretty cool. I just wanted to show how the counters work, pretty similar to the timers. The other thing we've done here is this potentiometer. And basically we have plus 24 volts on one side, and then we have the minus on the other coming from the power supply. So, one of these wires is just on the negative, the other wire on the positive. The middle wire, which this is called a wiper on a potentiometer, is pushed into input 2. So let's jump back over here and we can map input 2. So input 2, we're going to call that potentiometer, but we're going to change the I/O type to analog. Now what I can tell you, you can do 4 to 20 milliamps, so like a current analog input type, or you can do a 0 to 10 volts on this. And so the way I have it wired up right now is for 0 to 10 volts, and supposedly this thing will automatically detect which way you're trying to wire it up. So this is all we have to do as far as the mapping. Okay, so we're going to jump over to the structured text, and we're going to do something with this potentiometer. So our potentiometer exists as far as the variable, but I would like to create a new variable called potentiometer scaled. And what that'll do for us is be able to rescale the number that comes in to where it looks like something that we can understand a little bit better. And you'll see here in a second why we're going to do that. And we're going to make that a real. And the reason we're going to do that is this is going to be a 0 to 100%. So real is the best option. And we don't want it to be constant or anything like that. So this is all we're going to do there. Go back to the main. Let's go ahead and compile and download. And then we'll just add the potentiometer. You can see what it looks like when it comes in. So the highest value that the analog input's able to input is like 65,535. And so as you can see, it's changing, but a number anywhere from 0 to 65,000 is pretty large. So we're going to scale it to where we can say 0 is going to be 0% and 65,000 is going to be 100%. So that's why we're scaling it. Okay, so we already made that new variable. So now we can say if potentiometer is greater than 65,535, then potentiometer scaled is equal to 100. And I'm going to put a 0.0 because we used a real variable type. So it's expecting to go to the first decimal place. Oh, and I got to put that there. Else, if potentiometer is less than 0, then, oh, and I spelled that wrong. Potentiometer scaled is equal to 0.0. else potentiometer scaled is equal. Okay, so what we're doing now, so these first lines here, basically if for some reason, even for a millisecond, we read a value higher than this, it could give us a number that we don't want to see. And also if somehow it reads below 0, it can give us a number that we don't want to see. So we're basically capping it to say, if we see anything less than 0, then it's just going to be 0. And if we see anything greater than 65,000, it's just going to be 65,000 or 100, I mean. Now we're going to say to real. So we're going to basically change what it's seeing with the potentiometer to a real variable within this without having to change our variable type. I don't know if that makes sense, but basically we're just temporarily changing this to a real to make better math. So we're going to divide by 65,535.0, and then we're going to multiply by 100 to get a percent. Let's see if that compiles. We do have an error, so I probably... Okay, I must have spelled something wrong. Yeah, I forgot the D on this one. And you can see here it actually says main 27, so it tells us the line that it was on. All right, let's recompile. There we go. And then now we'll bring in that scaled variable so we can look at it. And then now you can see how we scaled that. So, I mean, if we wanted to play around, you know, a little more, I could say, like, if potentiometer scaled is less than 50.0, then LED red equals true. Else LED red equals false. And if there, you see it works. All right, well, that kind of sums up lesson 4. If you guys liked it, once again, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for the next lesson. See you next time.